Good morning. My name is Dr. Felix Roque. I'm a physician and citizen soldier. I come here before you to tell you a little bit about myself. I immigrated from Cuba in 1967 after being forced into experiencing the harshest conditions in the island of Cuba. Communism, ladies and gentlemen, is not fun. It's an oppressive state where you basically have no rights to do or think or act because the regiment controls you. My father, a physician, was forced to go to Spain, and my family, my mom and my brothers, came to the town of West New York, right on 60th Street, across my office. My father always told me in Cuba that make me proud. The United States was the land of the free, the land that is going to give us the opportunity. So always, he drilled that in my head. Make us proud when you get to the United States. My mother began to work in a factory making purses. I only saw her late at night when I arrived from school, at which times her hands and feet were swollen with blisters, working very hard, 2 jobs just to make ends meet. In the meantime, my father was still in Spain. I worked in the local grocery store, and at night also studied at Harry O'Bain School for my classes. I remember going to classes with the same clothes, the same shoes, and I remember having a hole in my shoes. And at that time, I used to put the playing cards in that hole to prevent the water from coming in. It's been a very good experience for me living in West New York. And after being there, my father arrived to the United States, and he decided to put me in a military school. I had a lot of anger inside of me. The anger that I brought from Cuba by living in this very suppressed state. In military school, I learned 3 words. And the 3 words that I always carry with me are duty, honor, and country. The duty to do the best for your community, and always do it honorably so my father and the rest of humanity could be proud of me. And country is to give back to the country which gave us the opportunity to come and experience the freedom of being an American. After graduating from military high school, I actually went and served my country in 1976 as an enlisted member in the United States Army. After completing my 3 years of Army, full-time Army, I was accepted at Norwich University, at which time I attended a military college for 4 years. And thanks to the Army ROTC program, I was able to pay for my college education. I was also able to pay for my medical school. And later, after graduating from medical school, having been accepted at Mount Sinai Medical Center, I was blessed enough to complete my 4-year residency in anesthesiology in pain management. Afterwards, I went back to my town because I needed to give my town what my town needed, which was a physician in the field of pain medicine. My father was also there now as a physician, and with his help, I established a very large clientele of patients. And I could proudly say to you that I have enjoyed working in my community, not only as a physician, but I could also say that I have, for the last 35 years, served my country honorably, and intend to do that until the day I die. And this is the reason I'm asking you to allow me the opportunity to serve you as the next mayor of West New York, and allow me the same opportunity that my family and I had when we came into this country. There's an old saying that it says like this: you're only as good as the people that surround you. And that's very true. Now I'm going to announce you who my ticket is. To start, I'm working with one of the most capable person a person that has had a lot of experience from the prior administration, a person that was the commissioner in the prior administration. Her name is Caridad Rodriguez. Caridad Rodriguez brings experience to our administration, an administration that functioned, that did a great job. Caridad Rodriguez is also a hard-working woman. She's the mother of 3 children. She's a person with a lot of experience. She's a person that really cares. I also have another female in the ticket, Fiordalisa Frias, a businesswoman. She's going to be my first Dominican woman on the ticket. Also a person that cares about kids, that cares about the way this town is going, that is very committed into sacrificing herself for the betterment of the children. I have Dr. Count Wiley, a chiropractor with a lot of experience in business administration, a person that is very energetic, hardworking, a businessman that knows and when there is a need to cut, he will help us cut what we need to do. A person that also cares a lot for his community, for his patients. I have also another business person and a second Dominican in the ticket. His name is Ruben Vargas, a person has been living for the last 40 years in West New York, a father of 3 children also, a person that cares for the community, a person that is there because he has children and he's worried about the direction that this town is turning into. So all I can say that we have a phenomenal ticket, and the most important part is a ticket that is not going to cost you any money, because we all made a commitment that we don't want any salaries, we don't need the cars, we don't need cell phones, insurance, we don't want any of the freebies, because in times of crisis, we all are making a sacrifice, and we're starting by setting the example. The mayor of West New York has made serious allegations that I have a lot of money. He has also made allegations that I had a sexual offender working in my office. Let me now clarify the truth. I am living the American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best country in the world. This is the country that allowed me to practice medicine. This is the country that has allowed me to serve my country for the last 35 years. I'm a colonel in the United States Army, and I'm active in the Army Reserves. I will do everything ethical. At no time have I lost my license. At no time have I had any sexual harassment lawsuits against me. At no time have I ever employed a sexual offender in my office. At no time would I deviate from the norms established by the American Academy of Pain Management or the Medical Board of New Jersey. If Mr. Vega wants to talk about my ethics and judgment, then let me now tell you about his judgments. He hired his ex-business administrator, Buddy Harold Demelier, who was seen taking a $20,000 bribe from an FBI informant, Solomon Dweck. He also hired a Mr. Ed Monty, who was involved in a sexual harassment lawsuit on which the town of West New York paid $143,000. His commissioner, Jerry Lang, was also charged with aggravated assault after striking his wife Myra and breaking her nose. The commissioner, Jerry Lang, was also involved in a motor vehicle accident, and he left the scene of the accident while a pregnant woman was taken to the hospital. The commissioner, Jerry Lang, was also involved in an altercation from a parking authority worker last week while the worker gave or issued him a ticket. Now let's talk about Mr. Vega's history. As you all know, the town of West New York just recently settled a sexual harassment lawsuit involving another male in the administration, at which time the male claims that Mr. Vega touched him. Now, this has cost the town approximately $500,000. Now, let's talk about Mr. Vega's two jobs. One, as the mayor, he makes close to $15,000. Also, as the director of athletics at Memorial High School, he makes another $140,000, and I heard that he doesn't go to work there. On top of that, Mr. Vega gets a free car, a free cell phone. What else? He gets all the goodies from the administration, which he doesn't deserve. So I'm promising you, I don't want a job, I don't need a car, I don't need a cell phone, and I don't need freebies, because I'm here to work for you. The Vega administration has been facing many problems. The main problem within the last 4 years are the high taxes. As I mentioned, 51% taxes. The other problem is the crime. Crime rate is on the rise at West New York. The other problem is the dirty streets. And the last problem is the failing school system. I'm going to talk to you now about the taxes. When Mr. Vega began in his administration, all of a sudden he raised our taxes 51%. Now, what are we getting for those 51% tax increase? The answer to that is nothing. What he has done with our money is paid a lot of attorneys millions of dollars of our taxes for their salaries. He has raised all his friends' salaries, and at the same time, the people on the streets that were making the low-end money, he has eliminated. He has contracts without bidding for them. So in other words, you're not getting the best for what we're paying for. What you are getting is people that have a contract now, they have donated to his political campaign. The difference I'm going to do is that I will have fair contracts. I will have a reduction of attorneys, so we could have attorneys that work but not get the excessive amount of money that they're making right now. I will also set the example, and the commissioners with me would also be setting the example. We're not taking salaries, we're not taking cars or cell phones, thus saving the town more than $500,000. At the end of the day, I will do everything possible to start cutting costs like it was done in the prior administration.
As a doctor specializing in pain management, Felix Roque is trusted with your family's health and well-being. As an active colonel in the U.S. Army, Felix Roque is trusted with protecting your freedoms. And as mayor of West New York, Dr. Felix Roque can be trusted. Elect Dr. Felix E. Roque for mayor of West New York on May 10th, 2011. Together we can. Paid for by Dr. Roque for mayor 2011.
Residents of West New York, are you suffering from high taxes, high crime, double-dipping taxpayer jobs, lack of municipal services, parade harassment, no bag parking meters during the holidays, meter enforcement till 9 p.m., nepotism and political patronage hiring, potholes and dirty streets, lack of recreation programs? If you suffer from any of these symptoms, you have the Vega virus. Make a doctor's appointment May 10th and vote Dr. Roque for mayor. Left untreated, the Vega virus will only get worse.
I'm Dr. Roque, and I approve this message.
Not on your dime. Team Roque doesn't need taxpayer dollars, just your vote. Taxpayer dollars for township services. When elected, Team Roque won't be taking commissioner pay, township cars, township cell phones, township credit cards. Taxpayer dollars are for township services. Team Roque won't get rich serving West New York. Team Roque, not on your dime. This May 10th, vote column B for Team Roque.
I'm Dr. Roque, and I approve this message. The next topic is crime. Our town is infected with gangs coming from other states just because it's easier for them to be at West New York. We need more of a police presence. We have the best, and I repeat, the best police department, but we need to restructure it. We have a director that is making more than the director in the police department at New York City. We need to have more education for our youth. We need to have more programs so when our youth leaves the schools, they don't go to a gang or they don't go to a drug dealer. Instead, they could stay in the library or we could teach them how to be better citizens. We have to worry more about our youth because our youth is our future. Within the last several months, we have been meeting with all the pastors, with all the reverends in the town of West New York, so we could get the church involved, so we could have better programs for those troubled youth, so we could actually instill responsibility in those youth, and the best way is with the help of the church. Our schools are failing, and I ask myself the question, why? The answer is, again, simple. You have the politicians getting involved in the school system, and what the answer I say to them is, get the hell out of the school system, let the teachers teach. We have the best teachers and substitute teachers in West New York, very capable. And one thing I believe in is education. If it wasn't for the West New York school system, I wouldn't be where I am right now as a physician and military officer. Now, what happened to school number 3? Where is the money? What has this administration done with the money? And the school's still not open. We still have people waiting for that school, children needing more education, but the school is not open, and the mayor hasn't given us a response to that yet. You also have a library. That is, the budget for that library is close to $900,000. And that library, if you go inside, is empty. There's no books. There's nothing. It doesn't even have an entrance for handicapped people to come in that library. So what's happening to the money for that library? You got school, memorial school, full of bed bugs. What are we doing to protect our children? So to me, education is number one for everything. It's number one because it also prevents crime. If a child is educated, he will not commit crime. If we have the children in our school system or in the after-class program, he's not in the streets with the gangs. So it's also preventing crime. So the crime and education go hand in hand. We just have to let the teachers teach. We just have to let the administration back away from the teachers because the mayor is forcing them, I say, for his own political purpose. You have teachers who are not allowed to express or to show the students what they have learned throughout the years because the mayor is trying to politicize the school system. You got teachers that are forced to buy tickets for this administration, and under my administration, I will not permit that. I will not enforce that on the teachers. Again, let the teachers teach. Now, if you walk in West New York, you find dog feces all over, you find animal waste, you find garbage in the streets. If you were there in December shopping, you saw that there was a terrible job done with the snow removal. Actually, there was no snow removal in West New York. If you were to compare North Bergen or Union City, you can actually see the difference when you walk from Union City into West New York, and there's garbage all over the place. You ask yourself the question, what was the solution that Mr. Vega proposed? And the answer to that was fired 93 DPW workers. Instead of firing those poor, hard-working DPW workers, he should have hired more to put them back to work, and he should have implemented a system of education for the town so people don't just throw garbage on the streets, and they care more about the town streets. So what we need to do now is bring the pride back to West New York. We have to care more. And the town people have lost interest, and it's not their fault. They feel disgusted because if they have a problem, they go to the administration and nothing gets solved. So we need to bring that pride back into my town of West New York. I remember being in military high school, and I had a history professor. His name was Mr. Halloran. He used to boast, brag about Burger Line Avenue being the $1 million mile. And at that time it was. And 4 years before, it used to be the $1 million mile. Now, if you were to go to Burger Line, you see store after store empty. And the shops that are there are not the same shops that used to be there. What was the reason for that? And the answer is very simple: the taxes. The high taxes, that 51% taxes, has forced all the merchants to go to other towns and do business there. The other answer is the filth. There's a lot of filth in the streets, and people don't want to go to places that are dirty. The other answer is crime. Every time they go to those stores, you see gangs hanging around outside the stores, and there's not enough police presence for that. So people are afraid to shop in Burger Line Avenue. And to top it off, if you go there, every half an hour, you have to keep feeding the meter, or else you'll be getting a ticket. Now, why, during the Christmas time, didn't Mr. Vega did the same thing that Mayor Sacco or Mayor Stacks did? Granted those owners of businesses a privilege so they didn't get ticketed. Once a month, we go to those town meetings, and we're treated like criminals. They insult us, they take their tongue out to us, and they boo us. Last month, the residents of the waterfront came in to voice their concern. Their concern was loud music from the new restaurant, Son Cubano, which is not really a restaurant. It's a nightclub, because at 3 in the morning, they're still playing music, and all the residents are very upset about that situation. So they came in to voice their concern, and instead of listening to the town people at the waterfront, you were getting heckled, you were getting booed, and the mayor was very disrespectful, to the point that he said, and I quote, "I know the owner for many years. What am I going to do?" That is very disrespectful to do that, because even though he has a friendship with the owner, he should have more respect and listen to the problem and solve the problem, not just ignore the problem. Under my administration, I will give every resident and citizen of West New York an opportunity to express their complaints. I will have an open door policy, not a closed door policy, so people could come in and explain their frustration to us. I will provide respect and dignity to each individual on those town hall meetings, because I care about my town. I believe in one West New York. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter the language you speak, whether you're male or female, whether you come from the east side or the west side. It doesn't matter, because I will treat you fairly. We're going to work as a team. We're going to work together. And one thing you're going to get from me is respect. September 2008, I started a journey to change the town of West New York. I noticed that my patients did not have the medications. They were losing their apartments. They couldn't afford the high 51% that Mr. Vega and the administration placed on you. There was no escape for them. The only option was losing their homes. That's when I got involved. You ask yourself the question, why is a physician getting involved? And I'll tell you the answer.